Good evening, race fans. Welcome to another edition of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and of course, we're looking forward to a great night here on the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am the voice of the Wilmot Raceway and other area racing from time to time, and we're going to have four different guests. Got to do my math. And we're going to be talking to people from Wisconsin. I think we got somebody from Illinois, and we got somebody that's going to join us from Idaho. Yep, Idaho. So we'll be looking forward to that. First of all, we're going to give you a few race results that we have beginning at the Wilmot Raceway this last Saturday night. Well, we started it off with a wedding. That's right, a wedding in the infield, about 3:30, 3:45. Rhonda Bell, a longtime follower of racing, very much involved in racing, now a member of the Kenosha County Fair Association, and Tommy Sexton, Mr. Excitement, who's won a number of championships in a number of different classes at the Wilmot Raceway over the years, and just does a great job of racing. He's already got a couple of wins in the 604 winged Outlaw sprint cars that are racing this year at Wilmot, and they'll be racing this coming Saturday night. They got married, though, in the infield, and we wish them the best. They involved not only Tommy's 604 winged sprint car. He actually drove it just right next to Victory Lane. And then we also had the Bodycraft M3 Custom Creations Wilmot Raceway pace truck. That had Chris Klemko behind the wheel as the chauffeur, bring Rhonda out to Victory Lane as well. And it was just a great event to be a part of and to watch. And congratulations goes out to Rhonda and Tommy Sexton. Once we got racing, though, we had some different winners at Wilmot Raceway this last Saturday night. We start off in the wingless sprint cars. Zach Radert out of Gurnee, Illinois. He won his second Wisconsin Wingless Series feature of the season, but it was his first at Wilmot this year. It was first in a couple of years at Wilmot, as he became the 8th different feature winner at Wilmot Raceway thus far this season. Also, Brandon Murtis out of Salem, Wisconsin, a past guest here on the program. He won the Unified Street Stock feature event. He became the 3rd different feature winner in that class thus far this year. The Badger Midgets made their only appearance of the season at Wilmot Raceway, and it was Parker Jones, a second-generation driver out of Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. He won his 3rd Badger feature of the season, his first ever, though, at Wilmot. And his dad, John Jones, past Rookie of the Year in the Badger Midgets, actually battled with Quinn McCabe, who now runs the Badger Midgets. It was just a great event, and I'll tell you, Parker just kind of checked out on everybody. He won by over a half a lap, almost 8 seconds over the rest of the field. And the Bandits, the B&L Office Furniture, powered by our good friends from American Tire and Auto Repair of Lindenhurst and Kenosha. That Bandit feature event went to Ryan Andrews out of Woodstock, Illinois, his second one of the season, his second feature win of the season. And he was joined by his wife and his little ones once again in Victory Lane. Have to back up to Brandon Murtis. He was joined by his wife and his 2 little ones. One is only about a month old and was in Victory Lane as well. So just a lot of family, and Zach Rader was joined by his dad in Victory Lane. So a lot of family on Saturday night at the Wilmot Raceway. And we're going to be talking with Brian Strain Jr., who is leading the 1175 IRA Lightning Sprints as they go into their season championship finale for the Wilmot Championship. They still have a number of shows left for the overall series. But we're going to be talking to Brian Strain Jr. of Paris, Wisconsin, a little bit later on in the program. We're also going to talk with Steve Miller out of Eagle, Wisconsin, one of our IMCA modified drivers. They'll be racing this weekend at Wilmot. And we're also going to talk to Andrew Kunanis. I hope I didn't butcher his name too badly. I just like to call him Andrew. Met him at Wilmot during the fair events that we had a couple of weeks ago. And he's the traveling announcer. He goes all over the place. I think Wilmot, he said, was his 100th track that he has been at. And he actually was on the mic a little bit. And he's going to join us tonight and talk to us about his travels and his experiences in racing. And he's going to be talking to us from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. That's way out there. So he's going to join us a little bit later on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk with our good friend John from Great Lakes Dragaway. Of course, Great Lakes Dragaway always has a lot going on, and they're definitely going to have a lot going on this coming weekend at Great Lakes Dragaway. So we'll be looking forward to that. Of course, right up there, GreatLakesDragaway.com. Their social media guy, young man, is doing a great job keeping everybody up to date there. But John, welcome to the program, and fill the folks in a little bit on what's happened at Great Lakes. And of course, tonight, ladies' night. There can't be too many ladies' nights left. But tonight, Wednesday, is always ladies' night at Great Lakes Dragaway. They get to race for free, and they get to come and watch for free. And they're keep competing against the guys. And maybe you can give us a little update on how that's going first, John.
Well, actually, it's doing pretty good. One of our good friends, Kristen, she won last week, and she's looking to do it again tonight. And she won against the guys. She's doing really well. The women are still ahead, so they're doing a great job this year. Always a lot of fun getting them out there. And then we're kind of gearing up for this weekend. The track is also open early bird Friday. Friday, the track will open at noon for test and tune and people that want to race. And then a lot of the people that'll be racing Saturday are going to be coming in Friday afternoon, some of them testing and just getting set up for the big event that we got Saturday. And we got a pretty packed schedule as far as what we're going to run for cars on Saturday and groups. So it's looking to be a good weekend. I'm checking the weather. It looks like it's going to be maybe a high of 81 or so, which would be great versus some of the warmer weather we had earlier in the week. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know that the hot weather in the earlier part of the week has probably given a lot of challenges to drivers trying to work on their cars and get ready to go. Not everybody's got the luxury of having an air-conditioned shop to work in. A lot of them are working in their backyards. Some of our bandit drivers are literally working on them in their driveways. And it's just not real easy when you got the heat coming in like it did this past early part of the week. But like you said, supposedly Mother Nature is going to calm down a little bit next weekend or as the weekend progresses. Now, I know Labor Day, always a big weekend over the years for Great Lakes Dragaway, especially when Broadway Bob was involved. And so tell folks a little bit about what they can expect at Great Lakes Dragaway. I know Bob, the showman that he always was, and that has continued now. And we want to, of course, give folks an opportunity to go out and catch in some racing. Wilmot, of course, will be racing Saturday night with the 1175 Lightning Sprint Season Championship for them. But us roundy rounds, we don't have anything on Sunday or Monday, at least in the local area.
Yeah. So Saturday, we have a pretty full ticket going on. Saturday, it's going to be, I'll just give you a little rundown on who's going to be there. Our group's going to be there that I race with, the Bruce City Gassers. We're going to have the Classic American Muscle Car Association, Nostalgia Super Stocks are going to be there. Also, the Pro E85 will be running their cars in the X85. Chicago Wise guys will be there with their 6-second door slammers. The 1320 Legends will be there. That means Billy Fusting will be there racing with those guys with the dragsters and the altereds. And then we have
one of our sponsors, Lake County Hose and Equipment.
Yeah, he's got a neat car there, and we got wheel standard chainsaw Chuck there. He'll be running the Chevy Rebellion wheel standard go along, and then we got some jets coming. We got the Chicago Rush, the Shark Fin jet featuring Danny Sullivan and Jeff Hoekstra. We also have a couple funny cars jets, Black Pearl and Quartermaster. Dennis Rosalansky's Crossfire jet, the Tough jet will be there, and then we're going to have a couple Nostalgia Nitro funny cars. We're going to have the Chi-Town Hustler against the Irish Car Bomb, and then Arnie the Farmer will be out there signing autographs and selling some of his stuff and displaying his booth out there. And the gates will open at 9 o'clock. Track goes hot about 11. The feature show starts at about 2 p.m. And we've got it set up so it should be a full day of racing.
And it's always a lot of fun out there, and the weather's going to hopefully cooperate. Now coming up, and we want to just remind you, because I know you like to try to get some of the Brew City Gassers out to different car shows and that. Coming up on September 11th at the Hunt Club of Richmond, we're going to broadcast this program live 6 to 7 o'clock on that Wednesday night. But they've also invited race cars, people's street cars, trucks, whatever you have that you'd like to bring by and display, starting around 5 o'clock or so, and we'll go until it gets dark, which will probably be not too long after we're done with the show at 7 o'clock.
Sure.
But again, it's free. They do have food available there and beverages. So we encourage some of the Brew City Gassers to come out and join us. And visit with fans and, be kind of a neat little thing at the Hunt Club of Richmond there. They are also one of our new supporting partners here of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports show. So please pass that word around.
Definitely will do.
And, see if folks can come and join us.
Sure.
Now, you've still got it's almost like you're starting into your second season up there at Great Lakes Dragway. While I'm talking about Wilmot's season championships, and things will wrap up the weekend of September 19th, 20th, and 21st with the first ever fall festival. You guys are going till glancing down here. It looks like till the end of October. And I know if it's not snowing, you might go longer than that.
Yeah, we might actually do that. Usually Randy likes to go until the first snow flies, where they have to dump some salt on the roads and people don't want to drag their trailers and everything out on the salty highways. But yeah, they'll usually keep going. And like I say, we still got a busy schedule coming up. In September, 7th and 8th, we got the Import Wars. And then the 14th, we got another streetcar brawl, which will have the Wisconsin Outlaw Street. That's a great race to watch. A lot of horsepower on tap for that one. And then on the 21st, we got the Big Walker Memorial Race, where we do kind of memorial race for all the drivers that have passed. That's kind of a good time. And then we still got another streetcar brawl in October with the Wisconsin Outlaw Street. So yeah, it's still going pretty busy out there.
So now, since I am just a little busy on Saturday, this coming weekend, on Sunday, you mentioned the Rockets, and Kathy got to see the Rockets for the first time back on 4th of July weekend, and we really enjoyed it out there. But are the Rockets going to be running all weekend this weekend, or just Saturday?
Just Saturday. Pretty much Saturday is the big event day. Sunday is going to be fun racing, and then it's going to be a little bit different. They're actually going to be open for racing on Memorial Day Monday. That usually Mondays are always closed, but they're going to be open on that one. So then the following week will be closed on Tuesday. So it'll be for the people that have a 3-day weekend, and if they want to bring their cars out on Monday, they can race them on Sunday or Monday. We tried to do some 2-day event shows like that with the big things, but it seems like a lot of people, I've noticed this at a lot of other races too, a lot of people want to head home or go home on Sunday, and it's kind of less spectators and everything. So they're like, it's just better to try to get it in one day and do one big show.
Now, I know 4th of July weekend, even though the big show was Saturday, you had a couple Rockets show up on Sunday.
Yeah. Every once in a while they'll do a little testing. Sometimes you never know what'll be out there testing. Some guys will come in, and if they're going to do anywhere in the area, because that's the great thing about being open 6 days a week. People can come there, and it's funny. We've got one guy that will do a track rental, because we also do track rentals during the week if people are interested. It goes from 11 to 4 if you want to rent the whole track, and a guy comes out from Connecticut to rent the track and do some things. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Well, we're going to try to sneak out there. We may come out Sunday for a little while and just see what's showing up. Like you say, you never know what might show up to make some passes and do a little fun racing on Sunday. But John, isn't racing always supposed to be fun?
Oh, yeah. It's always fun unless you're breaking something, and then it's fun, but not as much fun. Yeah.
Well, and I guess there's one thing about drag racing that is a little different from oval track racing. Oval track racing, some drivers believe rubbing is racing, and then others don't believe rubbing is racing. In drag racing, you hope you don't have any rubbing, because they shouldn't be touching each other as they're going down the quarter mile.
Yeah, that's true, absolutely, and that's the other great thing about Great Lakes Dragway. It's nice and wide. And they've got asphalt all the way to the walls there, so you got a lot of room to try to get it under control if you start to get a little bit crazy. But I've been at some tracks that are really, really narrow, and it's kind of scary, especially in my car when it starts doing a big wheelie and wants to go towards the wall or something. So it's like, yeah, you just we're kind of blessed to have this in our backyard and have such a nice facility.
Well, and maybe you can talk Billy into bringing his car back on Sunday for a couple passes, so I can at least see him one more time this year.
Yeah,
before he puts it away. So again, thank you very much, John, for all your reports. We're going to talk to you off air, or I'll be texting you, because we may look at a little different schedule next week. So
sure. So
we'll talk to you about that a little bit too, and. We hope everybody has an enjoyable Labor Day. Don't forget, you can still go out and watch the ladies until 9, 10 o'clock tonight?
10 o'clock. Yeah, usually around 10 o'clock it starts dying down. Yeah.
So head on out to Great Lakes Dragway, particularly if you're female, because you get in for free to watch, and you can also get in for free to race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty good deal. Thanks a lot, John. Take care. Have a safe Labor Day, and God bless, and tell everybody up at Great Lakes Dragway, one of our main supporters here, we want to say hello and good luck to them on a great weekend.
Yep. You too, Mike. Have a good Memorial or Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we want to thank all of our great marketing partners that help bring us on the air each and every week. Of course, B&L Office Furniture. They provide our home in studio. Also, of course, Great Lakes Dragway. Again, check out Great Lakes Dragway. A lot of events still yet to come over the next few months, and particularly this coming Labor Day weekend. Wilmot Raceway. Well, the nights are winding down. Only a few nights left in the regular season. And then, of course, the big fall festival coming up September 19th, 20th, and 21st. And we'll be talking a little bit more about what's coming up at Wilmot Raceway this coming Labor Day in just a few minutes. Fox Lake Harbor, our good friends over in Fox Lake Harbor. The Hunt Club of Richmond, as I mentioned, we're going out there live on Wednesday, September 11th. Join us, 6 to 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air. But again, you're welcome to bring your race cars, your street vehicles, motorcycles, what have you. Come on out, show them off. That you can start getting there maybe about 5 o'clock. We're going to go on the air at 6 until about 7. And then, of course, afterwards, you're able to stick around as well. Of course, Olson Transportation, Midwest Motor Coach. They provide all the transportation which gets the Lake County Honor Flight veterans safely to and from North Chicago. And they'll be making another trip coming up in October on Friday. I believe it's the 10th through Sunday. I believe it's the 12th, somewhere's in there. If I'm wrong on the dates, it's that particular weekend, and maybe Kent can straighten me out a little bit later. Of course, Eddie and Debbie Boyd of MLS Auto Clinic, Randy and the fine crew at Impressions Count. Weeby Waxen. Chad has a place you can store your vehicle, whether it be a boat or a car or custom car. Contact Chad at Weeby Waxen. He'll help you out. Bodycraft, Mark and Tony Maglio. They provide the Wilmot Raceway Pace Truck, along with M3 Custom Creations. And always want to thank Bodycraft for helping us out and supporting motorsports in general, but particularly supporting the Let's Go Racing Motorsports show. Our good friends at Buddy's over there in McHenry. Yep, we're going to make it over there one of these days. And Sean and his fine staff do a great job for you. Also, Steve Sinclair and the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars, they're making a trip up north this weekend. I think it's called The Hill is where they're going to be on Sunday night up north, way up north. And also you can keep an eye on where they'll be racing at other tracks throughout the year. And the last week in September, of course, on Saturday night up at the Plymouth Dirt Track, they have their big Sprint Car Nationals, or Wisconsin State Championships, that is. And so stop by and check that out the last weekend in September. RC Electronics, they also help us out. We also already mentioned, of course, Lake County Honor Flight, Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. Kathy and I went and took in their pickleball event this last weekend. It was a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, Kathy's now thinking about taking up pickleball. So we'll see. A-Main Apparel and Diecast. They've helped us out a lot with specially designed apparel, and we thank the Tennyson family for all their help. And, of course, we already mentioned Lake County Hose and Equipment, and Five-Star Race Car Bodies. Daniel Sanchez and his fine crew up there, they will help put you to work. If you'd like to get a job in motorsports, contact Five-Star Race Car Bodies. Carl Schultz, of course, the owner, and you can check that out as well. Nielsen Enterprises, Ted Nielsen and his fine crew. They can help you, whether it be a watercraft or whether it be 3 wheels or 2 wheels. Contact Nielsen Enterprises. Libertyville Manor, Generations of Care, Young at Heart Preschool, where family helps families sleep better. So if you need to find a place for your family, contact Libertyville Manor. John Henderline, attorney at law. John can take care of you no matter what your needs might be, whether you need to get a living trust put together, a will, or be represented in court over some civil or legal matter. Contact John Henderline, attorney at law. And I think that about does it from all of our fine folks. Again, you can go to info@216thenet.com if you'd like to join our growing list of supporters here on the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. All right, we're going to shift gears now. We're going to talk modified racing, IMCA modified racing with Steve Miller. And Steve is joining us, I believe, from Eagle, Wisconsin. Steve, welcome to the program.
Hey, glad to be here.
And I can tell you're in your shop, which I've been fortunate enough to see. You've got quite the place up there in Eagle, Wisconsin. And,
yeah, thank you.
And it was still a little bit under construction when I was there earlier in the year. Have you made any progress?
Well, my shop is pretty much done. All the cars are trying to get done, but I was under construction in my kitchen. I think maybe that's what you might be thinking of, which is coming along.
That's important. You got to keep that stomach full, right?
Yeah, yeah, you got that right.
Well, I'll tell you, you've had a lot of success this year at a lot of different racetracks all over. So fill the folks in a little bit about what Steve Miller's been doing with the 2M and where you've been racing and where you've been picking up those checkered flags.
Well, all 3 tracks that I run at, I was fortunate to win early up at Chilton, got a couple in the spring time, and then I had one midsummer, I think around June. I won one at Beaver Dam, which was big for me because I haven't really raced there that much lately. Got these lethal cars figured out for there, and then I won total of 5 at Chilton. Now I won last weekend. I clinched the championship, and then so then I won 1 at Wilmot. I was sure I was hoping to win more, but you never know at Wilmot. Last Wednesday I got taken out by a lap car. Got to read them lap cars a little better. I understand he was blowing a motor and trying to pull off the track, but kind of took my left front off, and I finished 3rd with a bent up front end. So I had a 15 car lead on that one at Wilmot, and I should have won that, but well, what are you going to do? That's racing. So.
That's racing. Well, and I'm glad to see you smiling about that. I don't know
yeah.
if you heard our earlier comments when I was talking to John about the difference between drag racing and oval track racing. In oval track racing, you got some drivers that believe rubbing's racing, and in drag racing, you hopefully don't have to worry about that when you're going straight down a quarter mile. But you every time I've seen you, I've never seen you get angry. You always just kind of brush it off and smile, just like you are now.
Yep.
And you know what? And I do love to see you in victory lane because you are you're so thankful to everybody. You thank your crew, you thank your sponsors, and you thank the fans because without them, none of us would have this.
You got that right. Yeah, I've been racing a long time. I used to be a little more of I guess you could say, a hothead about things, and I've settled down, and I have, this is my fun. I'm never going to make a living at it, nor would I care to. And so I just have a lot of fun. And my crew chief, Dan Konjerski, told me a long time ago, they wouldn't get you if you're faster than them. Good point. So, except for lap cars. So it's the second time this year I lost a race because of a lap car, other places too. So. But no, I'm having a great year. Got a good chassis program, running these lethal cars. I'm running, just the really good sponsors. Lift Pro helps me out, and Paradise Printing. Dean out of Madison. He's at every race. I think he's made all but 2 of my races. I probably got almost around 30 races in this year, and so I've maybe 30. I think it's around there, and I'd have to count. We just have been having a good year. I have a ball doing this stuff, getting my daughter involved with go-karts and whatnot too. And she helps me out a little bit in the shop, not as much as she should, but so that's fun.
Well, and now this weekend, we've got the IMCA mods are on the program this weekend up at Wilmot.
Yep.
And then on September the 7th again, and actually pretty much the rest of the season, the mods are on the program. On September 14th, it is championship night that night.
Yep.
I know you're not a points racer kind of guy. You don't really worry about them too much, but
right.
Are you still feeling, hey,
well,
Wilmot's within my my grasp?
I think I could do it. I don't want Joel Crowbridge to have any bad nights. I really don't. But if it happens, it happens, because I had two bad nights there now. I had a DNF opening night. And then, and track's been great. I mean, other than opening night, every night I've raced there, it's been fantastic. And I'm really having fun down there, I'll be honest with you. And so if things go my way, it'd be great. Every time I try to race for points somewhere, it's full of disappointment. So if it comes, it comes. And I'm not going to get mad about it. So it'd be a lot of fun, no doubt about it. But, if my friend Joel can win it, it's going to be him and I neck to neck, I think, here. So it's going to be a pretty good battle.
Well, that'll be good to see. Now, you've already done a pretty good job of getting your sponsors in and folks that help you to get to the racetrack each and every week. But anybody that you have forgotten or you need to take a glance at one of your race cars there.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned. Yeah, so Lift Pro rent lifts, and then Truck Country's been a really good partner with us. They've been a really good sponsor, helping us out, with some apparel and doing a lot of, you helped me pay the bills a little bit. And so they've been a really good partner to us. And then, you need to iron my own company and that, these things aren't cheap. So, I make my wheeling and dealing. That's kind of, for me, half the fun of racing is the wheeling and dealing part. So, and so I help a lot of younger people, young racers out with used tires and all that kind of thing. And so I like doing that, and just have a lot of fun doing it. My crew, Dan Konjerski and Scott Frisky, Brett Cairns, they're my main crew guys, and my buddy Dean Oshman is with me. He don't work in the shop much because he lives in Madison, but it's a huge help to me. I wouldn't be racing up north near as much because he comes with me and we go on tour, and I always say I have a tour bus and groupies, and I'm not even in a band, so we live in the motorhome all weekend and we have a heck of a time. So he meets me he meets me at my house. So we'll go up to, like this weekend, we went up to Gravity Park. We won the feature, and all that kind of thing. And they got a bar for pizza and everything there. You know, you have a pizza afterwards. What a great place to race. And then we'll either go to 141 or we'll come down to Wilmot. So if I come down to Wilmot, I trade cars. I stop at my house on the way. And then, but yeah, he meets me at my house like Sunday morning or Saturday night. We got home and he sacks out in the motorhome till the morning. Then he drives home in the morning so he don't hit any deer on the way home. So
there you go.
So we really, it's a great setup without the help from my crew and the sponsors. And, you know, and it was, you know, I was blessed to be able to get my motorhome. I actually built that thing years ago for a customer, and then I bought it back and fixed it up a little bit. And here we are. I'm building a 2-car stacker hauler right now for in case my kid wants to race a little bit, you know, in a street stock. I already bought one.
I was just going to ask you that. Is she getting any interest there in getting into the car?
Well, yes, but we're pretty much having a really fun time at that Badger Go-Kart Club up in Delsman.
Mm-hmm.
And she's fairly good. I always joke around. It cost me about 10 grand to get her to mid pack. Now it's going to cost me another 10 grand to try and get her to the front. So we'll see. I mean, she's a very good, aggressive driver. You know, we just got to work on her roll speed and everything like that and get qualifying a little better. But I mean, she's right in there. What I'm doing is it's a really good training ground for young racers. And I implore anyone that wants to get their kid in the race, and do not put them in a big car at first. Get them in them go-karts. They learn everything in them things, the braking, the gas, the corner, the etiquette on the track, you name it. They learn how to race, track entry. I remember the first time I was 20 years old and got in a Sportsman at Hales Corners. I didn't even know which way to turn, you know. So that was in 1988 if anybody's interested. So I've been doing this a while.
Just a little bit. But, you know, and it's funny, you keep saying your daughter, you haven't said her name.
Oh, JC. Sorry. Yeah. JC. Yeah. Little JC. So, yeah, she's 15 now. And, you know, just she's a lot of fun. You know, she loves drawing race cars, and, you know, she likes putting stickers on her go-kart, and she helps on the maintenance. You know, it's a part of the rules. You know, she does that. She sets all her tire pressures at the track. And so JC is going to be, you'll probably see her at Wilmot one of these days. I built that street stock for her, and, you know, and you know, kind of what I just built it for fun. It was something fun to do. And if she takes interest in it, but she's going to have to work on it.
There you go.
So we'll see how that works out. You know, teenage kids with all the other things they got going in life. And, but yeah, no, she's doing good. She's a good kid. I'm very happy, proud of her. She saved up and bought her own sewing machine. She bought a sewing machine yesterday. So
that's pretty good. Now she can make her own driver suit, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's got to fix mine, and then she's making hobby horses. So she makes her own hobby horses. She broke her last sewing machine, so now she bought a brand new one. So, and so she's creative, you know, and like I say, she's going to help. She helps on the designs of the cars. She's going to design the paint scheme on a Sportsman or whatever, street stock, whatever you want to call it. Right. And then got help on that. A friend of mine, Dennis Krause, built the engine for that. So once we get that thing running, we got a free engine in it. So, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody here. Boy, I'll tell you, all my past crew members that got me here, and I don't know. So,
yeah. Well, I always enjoy seeing you in Victory Lane. We're going to let you go because between your car and everybody else's cars that you help in your shop there, I know I saw a lot of that when I visited you. And now JC's cart, got to get that ready to go rock and roll. So see you down.
Yeah, we're off this weekend, but then we hit it hard the rest of the fall. Yeah, we'll be racing into October. Actually, end of October we race till at the go-kart track. Boy, that's a lot of fun. And yeah, so very lucky. And then I get to work on hot rods. I have a couple cars that I'm building, street cars, and so I'll be on them and get them ready for paint hopefully this fall. And so I get to work on hot rods for a couple months after the race season. So, but I'm not even wore out from the race season. Heck, I could go another 2-3 months. I'm fine with that. So
well, maybe we can find you some tracks down south, in Florida or something to run.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's easier said than done. I also own a business that needs my attention too. So business, work first, play later has been my motto. You know.
Well, Steve, again, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm glad we were able to get it worked out this week. And
absolutely. Anytime. I didn't know it was this easy. I thought I had to be on the computer or Skype or whatever and blah, blah, blah. And Sure, it's just on the phone. Heck, call me anytime. So
All right. That sounds great. Again, thanks a lot, Steve. God bless, and we'll see you Saturday at Wilmot.
oh yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate all you do.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Take care.
Good talking to you.
Bye-bye. Again, that was Steve Miller joining us all from Eagle, Wisconsin, not too far from Wilmot. And now we're going to shift gears a little bit more. We're going to bring in Brian Strain Jr. Brian runs just about anything with four wheels and a steering wheel on it. And Brian, welcome to the program. And understand this last Saturday night, you had another win in the 1175 IRA Lightning Sprints. This win coming down at Sycamore. You hear me?
Yeah, it was an interesting show at Sycamore. I personally love Sycamore. It's definitely different coming out of 4.
And how many wins do you have now overall on the IRA series?
I do a lot of iRacing. With the IRA, I can kind of take what I do off off the camera. I can kind of take what I do off iRacing and kind of put it into real life and see what I can do and get to learn the car. It helps me a lot.
Yeah, no, I actually was talking about racing wins that you have in the Lightning Sprint. So how many feature wins do you have this year in the Lightning?
Sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
With the IRA, that would be my 6th feature win with them, and then I have one with MKLS from Nationals.
And you picked up the national championship a few weeks ago. Congratulations on that. Do you know, are you the youngest national champion they've ever had?
Sorry, what did you say?
Are you the youngest national champion that they ever had in a Lightning Sprint or mini sprint?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I forgot who quite got it last year, but he was from Canada, and then I don't know the year before, but I think I am.
Okay, well, congratulations to you on that. Now, this weekend at Wilmot, I know a lot of times you run 2 classes, but this weekend you're going to be able to focus on the Lightning Sprint, or are you also going to run a Lift Pro powered by Gandrud Chevrolet Hefner Racing Products Wings 604? Are you going to run 2 classes Saturday, or are you going to just concentrate on the Lightning?
To be honest, I don't quite know. We got to do some work to the Lightning Sprint this week to get it back to where it was at the beginning of the season and make it all right. We're finding some small little things that are kind of working themselves to be problems as the season goes on, but we'll see if we have time to put the 604 back right so we can race it this week.
Now, you've got a tight championship battle. I don't know if you've looked at the points. We've been talking about with some drivers, they don't worry about points. They just let the points fall where they may. But you've got 431 points going into Saturday night. Mark Heinert, who won back during the fair, he's 6 points behind you. And Nick Petska is 8 points behind you. So, I mean, there's some others that are about 50, 55, that kind of thing. It'd be pretty tough for them to make it. I mean, all 3 of you guys would have to show up and break and not run anymore. Would be about the only way somebody else could jump all 3 of you. Do you worry about the points? And do you, when you're racing, worry about, obviously, if you stay in front of Mark and Nick?
I can tell you, I haven't really looked at the Wilmot track points, I guess. I've been so focused on trying to get the IRA, the actual, I guess, championship within the club of overall being at all the good tracks, but it would be pretty dang awesome if I could also bring home the Wilmot championship. And I can't really praise Mark and Nick for how tough they've been to race this year, and they've been really good competition. Anytime I've been racing them, they've raced me clean. It was always a great time being on the track with them.
And we were just talking with I don't know if you heard Steve mention that he felt it's a good place to have anybody that wants to go racing to get started in karts. Where did you start your racing?
I actually started racing last year, I guess, in the Lightning Sprints. That was, I guess, my first appearance in dirt racing. Before that, I raced snowmobiles for 3 years, I think, when I was way, way younger, back in elementary school. But other than that, it's just been helping my dad race.
And what does Dad race? Or for folks that may not know, what kind of cars does he drive?
My dad used to race UTVs for countless years, and then we left that. We went into drag racing for a year or two, and then he saw the 410s racing at Wilmot, and we went up to Michigan, bought ourselves a car, and he bought a 410 and bought another chassis that winter, put together a wingless, and he ran wingless for 4 years.
Okay, so you've been able to learn a lot watching Dad. I know Dad now is one of your main people on your crew, pretty much your crew chief, who helps get that Lightning set up each and every week. Who else helps you get that car to the racetrack, not only at Wilmot, but throughout the IRA series?
Steve Leith, Nathan Wiedmeyer, my mom, just anyone who, I mean, we've had days where we've had to drop the trailer at the track and leave and go take the truck to grab another trailer, go grab another car. I mean, we basically do whatever we can just so that way we can get to the track and get the racing in, so that way I can get my seat time, so that way I can improve.
Now, when you're not driving a race car, I presume at 15, you're still a high school student?
Yes, sir.
And where are you going to high school, and what year are you at?
I go to high school at Central in Paddock Lake, Osage Central, but I've been having practice, I think, every day, every Monday through Friday for the past 3 weeks for volleyball, because that's all my parents let me play. So,
So what's your best position on the volleyball court? What do you like the most? You know, are you a setter? I don't think you're a spiker. I don't think you're quite tall enough to jump up over the top of the net.
I can tell you I play whatever position that the coaches put me at, and usually that's starting bench.
Right. So, okay, that's a good one. And now I presume what you're sophomore or junior? Junior?
I am going into my sophomore year. Yeah.
Oh, wow, just going into sophomore. Okay. So what are your plans for the future? I mean, do you plan on staying with the Lightnings and the Wing 604s and maybe the wingless for a while, or are you looking at, their big brother, the 410 bumper to bumper IRA cars? Are you looking to those soon, or is that down the road?
If I'm being honest, we are selling the Lightning Sprint after this year. That car is going to someone else, and we are either looking to get a Badger Midget and go race with them and possibly get a motor and go USAC every big money race that's kind of local. It'd be nice to see what I could do compared to them, but in reality, it's either going to be run this Badger Midgets next year, or possibly if I can get a ride, I'll drive whatever car they want me to.
What are your goals, even, maybe 10 years down the line, after you get going some more? I mean, you're definitely very successful. You do a great job. You're a clean racer. Other drivers like racing with and against you. Any thoughts? IndyCar, NASCAR, Xfinity, trucks?
I mean, if I could get there, that would be the dream. I would love to be racing for the rest of my life, but I don't quite know if I'll have the chance to do that. But if I do, I would love to do it.
So you mentioned you're playing volleyball because that's the only sport in high school mom and dad would let you play. What's your favorite sport? And hopefully your volleyball coach isn't listening.
I would preferably like to play football. I mean, I played that for the first how many ever years of school, like 4th through 6th grade or something like that. I loved it, but then I actually ended up stopped playing because my dad started racing.
Well, I happen to be a football official down in Illinois, and I can just tell you we need officials. So whether it be volleyball, whether it be football, whether it be just about any kind of sport, at least in Illinois, and I presume it's the same up in Wisconsin, they need officials. In Illinois, you can officiate a high school game when you're 15. So they started that. So I don't know if Wisconsin lets you do that yet, but think about that, and then it can also make extra money for the race car. Sound like a good idea? Maybe. Are you still hearing me?
Yeah, I'm just trying to play basically any sport I can, so that way I can stay kind of fit in the body shape that I have, so I can make sure I last through those races.
Well, there you go. That's for sure. Now, with all the heat this week and going into the Labor Day weekend, now it's supposed to be a little bit nicer come weekend time. Is there anything that you're doing special? Are you drinking more fluids to make sure you're staying hydrated, not only during the day at school, but obviously after school at volleyball practice, and obviously when you get in the race car, you got to keep hydrated.
Yeah, and with the heat recently, it's been pretty brutal sitting in that car, especially with how like the single car qualifying we did at Sycamore. I personally love that format of qualifying, but it's kind of brutal sitting in an all black suit with your black headstock and my black helmet, black gloves, and the sun's beating down on you inside of a black car. It starts all kind of radiating off each other, and it starts getting really hot. And I definitely do drink a little bit more water on race days than I do on a normal day.
Okay, well, we're going to let you get to the school books because I know you got to keep those grades up so that you can play volleyball. And I'm sure there might be a little stipulation for mom and dad to let you drive the race car based on the grades. Any sponsors that you want to thank getting to the racetrack and getting to victory lane and maybe getting you a Wilmot championship this Saturday night?
I'd like to thank the IRA as a whole for being able to host this, Ackerman, SW Underground for being able to sponsor the car and put money towards it. My uncle Jimmy, who recently started sponsoring us, he helped out after our flip at Plymouth. But other than that, everyone who's involved is greatly appreciated. And it's nice to have some support at the track, or if someone's coming by at the pits, to have them help. Just everyone who's involved in the environment.
All right. Well, Brian, again, thanks for making the time. I know you got a tight schedule between school, volleyball, and racing. We wish you the best this coming Saturday night, and maybe I'll be talking to you in Victory Lane as the 2024 Wilmot 1175 IRA Lightning Sprint champion. How does that sound?
That would sound amazing.
All right. Have a great evening. Say hi to your folks, and we'll see you Saturday. All righty. And that was Brian Strain Jr., 15 years old, and he's after a championship, and he's going to sell the car. Oh well, while he's playing volleyball. So you never know. We wish him well, Mark Heinert well, and Nick Petska well. It's going to be a three-way battle on Saturday night, so you won't want to miss that at the Wilmot Raceway, along with the modifieds, the IMCA modifieds, the street stocks, and the Lift Pro powered by Gandridge Chevrolet Hefner Racing Products Wings 604 sprint cars. Joining us, this is definitely the furthest we've ever had a guest on the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report, is Andrew, I hope you're still here. Is Andrew still here? There he is. I didn't know if we had to, cross sound barriers or going over the Rockies or what's going on here tonight. But welcome to the program. I'm glad we were able to get it worked out this week. And, I was mentioning that you are like the traveling announcer. You, if I remembered right, when we were talking at Wilmot, it was track number 100 you've been to?
136 on Saturday the 17th. But no, that's all right there. It's lot of racetracks there. I've been fortunate to see a lot of racetracks around the country here. And thank you, by the way, for working with me on scheduling this here. Yeah, I'm in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, north part of the state here, and we're in the Pacific time zone here. So we're 2 hours behind you folks out there in Wisconsin. And yeah, I got home last night on Sunday evening here after a 10-day road trip here. I drove over 4,400 miles across 8 states there and saw 6 racetracks. 5 of them were new. And yeah, and Wilmot Raceway was one of them. It was, I want to say Wisconsin in general for dirt sprint cars there, but Wilmot Raceway, there, haven't seen the name pop up a lot in race reports over the years. Growing up especially, there was a bucket list track for me. And I had a great time there and really enjoyed meeting you, Mike.
Well, I enjoyed meeting you, and then we got you on the mic with Lauren and with Maddie and with Mia. And, and then the next night you went to Angel Park. I understand that was your first time up at Angel Park, and got on the mic with them again there. And I was taking that in on the Flow Racing and the Badger TV. And we had the Badger Midgets last week at Wilmot, and that Parker Jones is just unbelievable. And they, of course, got a doubleheader coming up this Sunday and Monday up at Angel Park for Badger. And actually, it's a triple header weekend because Saturday they're at Sycamore. So they got 3 races and 3 nights this coming weekend.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the Badger Midgets. I know they're big at Angel Park and they do travel around. I believe you just had them at Wilmot the other night. Yeah, that was my first time to Angel Park as well. So from the Seattle area, I grew up over there. Skagit Speedway is my home track. But in the middle of growing up over there, I spent a few years in Michigan. As a kid, my dad was in the Coast Guard in a little town called Charlevoix, about an hour outside of Traverse City. And did see the IRA sprint cars at I-96 way back in 1996. I was 12 years old at the time. But that was the only time before last year that I ever saw that series. But a couple of years ago, I was at the Western Auto Racing Promoters Association meetings in Portland that they have every November. And Steve Sinclair from IRA, he's been running that series for over 30 years now. He was there representing the insurance company that he works for. But he and I met, and we just hit it off there. What an awesome guy. If you're in sprint car racing, Steve Sinclair is someone you want to meet and talk shop with. You can learn some stuff from him. And I had made the promise, like, hey, I'm going to go try to go see IRA in Wisconsin here. I love traveling and seeing different racetracks. As you know, I saw 5 new tracks on this trip. But I did see them with the NOSA Tour. They're based in North Dakota. I saw them last year when they had their combo weekend with NOSA at River City Speedway in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and I-94 Speedway in Minnesota the night before that. But and that was awesome, by the way. It was a great time there. But I said I would try and see them in Wisconsin, and I try to go to Michigan every 2 or 3 years to go see old friends. And I have some family there too, and it worked out. I put this road trip together, and I got to do both. And they said, "Hey, you're welcome to come hang with us anytime here." And met Lauren and Chatty Matty last year, and what a fun duo they are. And they invited me just to come hang out with them. And I was awfully tired from traveling on Saturday when I was there. So I said, "Hey, I'll try and stay out of the way here. I won't try and talk too much here." But to my surprise, I ended up calling the feature that night with Lauren Kelly here, and which was really nice of him. I'll say this right now. I'm not going to toot my own horn here. There are some announcers who are just on another level here, and Lauren is on another level there with his excitement and also his knowledge. He knows what he's looking at, and that was fun there. Watching Greg Wilson charge from 14th, I think it was, to win that race there over Jake Blackhurst, who had led most of the way, and the dash race. Watching that earlier in the evening there, Blake Nemi pulling off a couple of his moves there. That was spectacular to watch there. I really wish Maddie's microphone was on because she was just
for sure.
losing
Or always
it.
had a camera on her or something.
Yeah, it would have been great for everyone on Flow Racing to hear that there. But I was in the booth with Lauren for the call and on Flow Racing. I've been on Flow a few times before, but and Dirt Vision as well. But that was really fun there. And he said, let's do it again tomorrow. And again, I just hung around there, watched from the infield all night there, took some video, and I got a little video of the parade lap by the IRA. And if you haven't been to Angel Park there, and Mike, you probably know this here. I didn't know this until the day before, but they don't have an announce booth at Angel Park there. They have a stand across the front stretch from the flag stand in the infield there. The scores are there too. So I'd done trackside reporting once at River Cities a few years ago, doing trackside interviews. But that was my first time actually calling the races from the infield there. And it was and Lauren said, yeah, it's going to be a little different here. And sure enough, it was here. We're spinning around trying to see everything that's happening during the feature around us. And of course, we're out in the wide open here. No booth here. We have headsets on, and we're trying to hear each other over the cars here. We have everything turned up all the way here, and even then there was a little interesting trying to do everything here and trying to see what's going on. We can't see the right side of the cars, the outside, because we're in the infield here. It was great having the Flow Racing monitor right there on the stand for us to look at there and check out. But that was interesting. But it was a lot of fun there. And both races at Wilmot and Angel Park were at fairs. Those are always fun. It's great to see full grandstands at fair races. Always the potential for new race fans. A lot of people seeing their first sprint car race or any race here. And I've seen a few out here on the coast here. We used to have it's been closed for a few years now, but Central Washington State Fair Raceway in Yakima, there was always the fair at the end of September there, always a full house of spectators there. And even if they weren't experienced race fans, didn't understand everything they were looking at, they ate it up, just ate it up. And so great to see really good crowd at Wilmot on Saturday and a great crowd at Angel Park on Sunday the other weekend. And I got to say, I was at Princeton Speedway in Minnesota the night before Wilmot. After I was going to go to Grand Forks there, they rained out. I drove an extra few hours there. I'm wiped out there, but I was very glad I made the trip there. Even with the weather threatening, Princeton Speedway in Minnesota there had a pretty full grandstand on a questionable weather Friday night. And so I was very pleased. There all three tracks that weekend I went to there had absolutely fantastic crowds.
Well, that's what we got to have to keep short track racing going. And you mentioned a couple of different tracks out there in the upper northwest, I guess it would be, from us here. You got high limits coming out there, don't you? Out that direction?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to attend any of the events, I don't think, here. I might be doing some dwarf car stuff this weekend. But yeah, High Limit is racing right now at the Douglas County Dirt Track in Roseburg. I've been there a couple times. Actually announced there a dwarf car race actually back on the 4th of July there. But this is Roseburg's second year as a dirt track. It was actually an asphalt track, and at the fall of 22, they actually threw a bunch of clay on top of the asphalt. So it's a dirt track now, and they're there right now. And as this is being recorded, and Wednesday they'll be at Grays Harbor Raceway in Elmo, Washington, there, which is just west of the state capital of Olympia. It's about, on a good no traffic day, it's about an hour and a half, give or take, outside of Seattle, on the way towards the coast. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday they're at Skagit Speedway there for the $100,000. Actually, they just won up Chico here after they ran for $100,070 or something like that. There, it's $100,000, $2,626 or something like that. Kevin Rudin's card number. Of course, he is the one of the co-owners of Skagit Speedway. Now he and Peter Murphy took over my home track here a few years ago. This is year number 3 for them, and they've done a fantastic job with Skagit Speedway, which is celebrating its 70th birthday here this weekend. Actually, they opened up on Labor Day weekend, 1954, and so I'm very pleased to see that there. But Washington's always been a pretty strong on the Northwest here for at least 360 sprint cars here. But they've also brought back the 410s in the last couple of years at Skagit. The 410s went away for a while here, and they worked really hard. There's a lot of questions. Can 410s be brought back at Skagit? And a resounding yes was the answer to that there. So they've done a great job. Speaking of the 360s, there's always been a little bit of a presence of them in Oregon, and there's been all right field over in Montana, out in Big Sky country here. My primary gig the last few years, really I was on and off with him for the last 12, was as the announcer for the ASCS Frontier region that runs out in Montana. I did make the choice to step away from that series back in May. It was time for a change. And it wasn't against any particular person out there. Things were changing behind the scenes again. And ASCS, as I'm sure you know, there was the national tour was bought by World Racing Group, who owns the World of Outlaws, and a lot of uncertainty here. And I want to spend more time on the coast where I am from, there, the North Sound area, north of Seattle. And so I decided to step away from that there. But a lot of fine 360 sprint car racers out there. Trevor Kirkland won the championship a couple of years ago, driver out of Helena. Phil Dietz, the 5-time Montana sprint car champion, not to be confused with the car owner and crew chief, better well known out in the Midwest. And then got a lot of friends there. Joe Perry, his wife Lauren, two of my favorite people to visit with. So it was a tough decision to step away from that, but wanting to do more stuff out on the coast there in Washington, Oregon, where I'm from, and maybe do some stuff down in California also. Hoping to have a regular sprint car gig again down the line somewhere if someone will have me there. But I've been doing a lot of stuff with the Northwest Focus Midgets, who are one of the top support groups in the country there. They always have 30 cars every night at Skagit Speedway, and but doing a lot of dwarf car stuff also there. Done a lot of stuff with the Western States Series. I put together a race for them for the dwarf cars every year in Oregon called the Pocket Change Race. I literally collect coins year round there. I actually present to the winner of that race in change. And last year it was over $2,800 in change to win that race there. And for the dwarf cars, that's humongous. So those are my 3 primary. There's sprint cars, midgets, and dwarf cars. But as I said, I do enjoy traveling some here, and I try to get out east. I just want to say once or so a year now. And go track chasing. I saw Knoxville Raceway for the first time last year. I made a priority to go last year because I joined the voting committee for the Sprint Car Hall of Fame there, which was a real honor and privilege to be on here. And I went to the induction ceremony last year, and so never been to either of them there. So I went and had an awesome time there. Watched the races, the USAC races. That weekend from the Hall of Fame behind turn 2, and that was an absolute treat there. But of course there Wisconsin had been on my bucket list. I did see an asphalt race in Wisconsin a few years ago, but I wanted to see dirt sprint cars in IRA and check out the dirt track scene in general here. And I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but Lauren and Maddie, Dakota Tennyson, who's the chief scorer there, works with MRP also, and Steve Sinclair. They were all so welcoming to me the other weekend, and I want to try and go out there again, even if it's just a hangout. They don't even have to put me on the microphone. You're just to hang out there and see that there for a regional tour. The IRA Sprint Car Series that's based in Wisconsin there. This is my very strong opinion here, but they set the standard for how a series should be run. When Steve Sinclair is running his pit meeting there, I noticed this last year at Grand Forks here. There was almost no side chatter anywhere. Like everyone was all eyes and ears were on Steve here. Like that shows you that his racers respect him. And
That's for sure.
like if he's speaking here, everyone, well, what does Mr. Sinclair have to say? And he's got a support staff around him. It's just well organized. And I said this. I put a post there while I was still traveling. I was in Michigan there, but I posted a photo of Lauren, Maddie, and Dakota and myself there, and I said, "Hey, those who are trying to run a regional tour of some kind here. I know IRA's been around a long time here, but come to one of their races and just see what they do." And I think some places there that I've been involved with in the past, there or visited there, and I saw that they were struggling there. Like go to Wisconsin, or even if IRA, they'll step out there, go race in Minnesota or North Dakota. They've been to Michigan in the past or Illinois. Go see an IRA show and go to the pit area and just observe how they do things there. And they're just well prepared. Like I said, they got a great staff there. And Lauren Kelly took over as their main announcer last year, working with Maddie there. And those two are so well prepared. Also, I can't speak highly enough of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, and you were fortunate enough to see the IRA at their original home track. Wilmot is where the IRA began over 50 years ago with the late Ray Toft, the late Junior Dodd, and Whitey Harris. Whitey is still with us. Whitey, a big late model driver after he quit driving open wheel cars. But the three of them founded the IRA well over 50 years ago, and Wilmot has been its birthplace and always will be. And Wilmot was fortunate enough to have Steve Sinclair as their race director. Pretty much, they gave him a little bit different title for about 15 years before this last season. So it's always great. I mean, Steve has been very supportive of myself personally. He and Cody and I and Dave Olson are going to go golfing in the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. You mentioned Hall of Fames. They're going to have a golf outing coming up on the 17th of September on a Tuesday. And so we're going to go out golfing for that fundraiser. And they are also going to have an event at the Hall of Fame up there in Hartford on September 14th. Did you make it to the hall while you were here at all? It's in Hartford.
I
don't think
I did not.
It would have been a tight squeeze.
I will know that
Wilmot
for next time I visit Wisconsin, whenever that may be, hopefully next year.
Well, if you come next year, I'll definitely get you directions up to the hall. Maybe I'll even take a road trip with you up to the hall because it's amazing. It's amazing. So, well, I've enjoyed this. I enjoyed visiting at Wilmot.
You mentioned Wilmot's been around a long time.
Yep, I enjoyed visiting at Wilmot. I am going to let you go. Before I let you go, though, I always let the drivers get in sponsors' names. Well, your boss was nice enough to let you use the office to do this podcast. So go ahead and give your dealership a plug.
Yeah, I work at Microwave Ford in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho here, and I got off of work here, and they're about to close here actually there, but I knew this office would be open, so I set my laptop up in here, and they've been very supportive of me doing all my racing stuff here and working a favorable schedule here to maximize my vacation time that I could use. And also want to give a shout out to Fine Brewed, a coffee shop in downtown Coeur d'Alene. I start all of my racing road trips with a large white mocha in hand from Danny and her crew down there. Beautiful coffee shop on the beautiful downtown Coeur d'Alene. If you've never been to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, try and come visit during the spring, summer, fall. Absolutely gorgeous here. It snows here a lot too during the winter time, but yeah, those are the folks who helped me out there. And but yeah, Mike, come on out here if you ever have the opportunity here. Go to Skagit there. Go hang out with Caleb Hart, the voice of Skagit Speedway, who also announces the Chili Bowl and Tulsa Shootout on Flow Racing. Caleb, absolutely fantastic guy. Or go to Elma, see Phil Martelli, who's an Elma Hall of Fame announcer, and Sean Holbert, who hosts the Sean the Dirt podcast. Sean Holbert, absolutely wonderful guy also. We have some great announcers out here on the on the West Coast and Pacific Northwest. Also, Troy Hinnick down in Chico, California. Ben Deatherich in Oregon. And got to give a shout out to Drew Brown, Big Sky Speedway in Billings, Montana. And Jeff Krogstad, really nice guy at Gallon Speedway in Belgrade. Those two guys I work with more than anybody out there in Montana. But as I said here, I hope to come back out to Wisconsin sooner than later there and visit y'all there in corn country.
There you go. Well, again, thank you very much, Andrew. We hope that you do make the trip out next season, and I'll be looking to maybe catch in some of your announcing on Flow as the season progresses here. Thanks again, Andrew. God bless. Good night. That's going to do it for this week's show. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, don't forget racing this weekend at Wilmot Raceway on Saturday, the 1175 Sports Complex IRA Lightning Sprint Season Championship. It's down to the 3, Brian Strain Jr., Mark Heinert, or Nick Petska. And then also, of course, Great Lakes Dragway in action this weekend. Badger Midgets running at Sycamore Saturday, Angel Park Sunday and Monday. And the IRA is at The Hill on Sunday night. Until we see you next time, this is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening, the best of tomorrows. Remember, kids, just say no to drugs. Thanks, good night, God bless, and let's go racing, everybody.
Yeah.